It's your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and I'm back with another episode of Hood Tales. In this video, I'll be taking it to St. Louis, Missouri, to discuss the heinous hit-for-hire plot that resulted in the 2016 slaying of 30-year-old Jocelyn Peters. But before we get into this video, please don't forget to hit the like button if you're enjoying the content. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and join the Tony 2 times family. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Also, if you'd like to see more episodes of Hood Tales, please click the link to the playlist in the description box after this video to get caught up on episodes you may have missed. Finally, be sure to share this video with everyone you know. All right, let's get right into it. Jocelyn Peters was a third-grade teacher at an elementary school in South City, St. Louis. She was beloved by her peers, colleagues, and community. Jocelyn loved working with children, especially when it came to their academic development and overall state of mind. Jocelyn began dating a fellow educator by the name of Cornelius Green. Cornelius had been with the St. Louis Public School District since 2002. He started off as a teacher, then an assistant principal, and later became a principal at a St. Louis middle school. In 2015, Jocelyn became pregnant with Cornelius's baby. Jocelyn may have been thrilled to become a mother, but for Cornelius, Jocelyn's pregnancy was a big problem for him. Cornelius was legally married to another woman while he was dating Jocelyn. Not only had Cornelius been having an affair with Jocelyn, he was also dating several other women at the time. As Jocelyn's pregnancy progresses, Cornelius began hatching a plan in early 2016 to get rid of Jocelyn and the pregnancy. Cornelius reached out to a longtime friend, a man named Phillip Cutler, and allegedly commissioned him to execute the plan to end the life of his pregnant girlfriend, Jocelyn Peters. On February 29, 2016, Cornelius sent Phillip a text message asking him to come from Oklahoma to Missouri at the end of March. Phillip responded, "Okay, that'll work. You gonna be sending the package?" On or about March 8, 2016, in Oklahoma, Phillip received a package sent by Cornelius via UPS that contained $2,500 in cash. Phillip allegedly accepted the cash in exchange for the planned slaying of Jocelyn and her unborn baby. Weeks later, Phillip allegedly traveled from Oklahoma to St. Louis and stayed with Cornelius and his sister on March 21, 2016. Cornelius left the very next day on an Amtrak train to Chicago. Cornelius left Phillip with his Kia Optima and his keys, which included keys to Jocelyn's apartment in St. Louis's Central West End. Days after Phillip arrived in St. Louis on March 24, 2016, in the early morning hours, Phillip allegedly drove Cornelius's car to Jocelyn's apartment on the 4200 block of West Pine. Phillip allegedly unlawfully entered Jocelyn's apartment with the key Cornelius gave to him. He found Jocelyn sound asleep in her bed. He then allegedly fired a .38 caliber with a potato silencer, wounding Jocelyn in her head. Phillip allegedly left the scene and called Cornelius to let him know the fatal deed was done. Cornelius returned from Chicago later that day. He went to Jocelyn's apartment and called 911, pretending not to know anything about what happened to her. Officers arrived at the scene at around 6:20 a.m. and found Jocelyn. She was more than 27 weeks pregnant. She and her unborn baby lost their life. Jocelyn's family, friends, colleagues, and students were stunned and utterly devastated by her sudden and tragic end. Jocelyn's family didn't expect her boyfriend at first. He always seemed to treat her well. In August 2016, Cornelius Green was arrested and charged with theft after he was accused of stealing $2,700 from a student dance group at the middle school where he was a principal. The money was meant for a field trip. 2 months went by before the investigation would lead law enforcement to Cornelius Green and his plot to end Jocelyn and their unborn child's life. In October 2016, both Cornelius Green and Phillip Cutler were charged in connection with the plot and execution of Joselyn Peters' slaying. Both men were held in jail while they awaited trial. 7 months after her slaying, Jocelyn's family would begin the process of getting justice for her. There were delays in the trial, and 6 years later, both Cornelius Green and Phillip Cutler were indicted by a federal grand jury on hit-for-hire charges in Jocelyn's slaying. Federal prosecutors laid out the plot that Cornelius had allegedly orchestrated with his longtime friend, Phillip, to get rid of his pregnant girlfriend on the side. Evidence in the case consisted of text messages, cell phone records, train tickets, among other pieces of evidence. Phillip Cutler's phone location records placed him near Jocelyn's apartment around 3 a.m. on March 24, 2016, around the time frame Jocelyn was slain. Prosecutors pointed out Cornelius's motive for hiring his friend to slay Jocelyn and his intent to stay away from St. Louis during that time by going to Chicago to create an alibi. Court records show the money Cornelius used in exchange for the hit was the stolen money from the middle school where he was a former principal. 2 years later, on Wednesday, February 28, 2024, Cornelius Green accepted a plea agreement in federal court in order to avoid the penalty of losing his life in the state of Missouri. State prosecutors were seeking that penalty if he was convicted on a state level. A condition of Cornelius's federal plea agreement states that if he is sentenced to life without parole in federal prison, the state will drop the charges and he would avoid the penalty. However, it is not binding. Cornelius is scheduled to be formally sentenced in June 2024. The alleged triggerman, Phillip Cutler, rejected the same plea agreement given to him by federal prosecutors. Phillip Cutler is scheduled to go to trial on March 11, 2024. All claims against Phillip Cutler are alleged. He is innocent until proven guilty. May Joselyn Peters rest in peace. My belated condolences to her family. I send my well wishes, and I hope with Cornelius's guilty plea, they have begun to come to some closure. We will have to wait to learn the outcome of Phillip Cutler's trial. It's not apparent if Jocelyn knew whether Cornelius was married or aware that there were also other women. Jocelyn was probably in love with Cornelius and maybe felt that they would possibly become a family. I wonder if she suspected Cornelius's ill intentions. Was he accepting of the baby to her face, but behind her back, he was plotting? It's absolutely tragic that Jocelyn lost her life over a man's unwillingness to accept the consequences of having extramarital affairs unprotected. As an adult, you know what can happen when you cross that line. I wonder if Jocelyn did know. Did she threaten to tell his wife? He had to know there was a possibility Jocelyn could get pregnant. Reckless behavior can cause a chain reaction. Sadly, Jocelyn got caught up with the wrong man. a womanizer, a philanderer, an evil man who loved himself more than he loved her or anybody else. To truly love someone will not lead you to hire your friend to end their life, especially when she is carrying your baby, or even the fact he got with her in the first place while he was married. If he loved her, he wouldn't have used her and then disposed of her when he felt he could no longer have control of the situation. Handle it like a man. There is so much more than I can say about this tragic story, but fam, I'll leave the rest up to you. Tell me your thoughts on this in the comments. All right, fam, that's it for this episode of Hood Tales. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times, and I'm out.